Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you something that kind of blew my mind. I've been a programmer's programmer for the last 9 years, been steeped in code, and I'm just now realizing that there's a whole lot of automations that you can pull off these days without using any code. I know that that's been around for a while, but I'm pretty excited about what is available to you now if you're just kind of getting into the automations world, into the AI world, and you don't want to go through a year or two of learning how to code. There's a lot that you can get done. And if you do want to go through that year or two of coding and start that process, absolutely get started. But let's get some powerful automations written at the beginning, and you'll have a better understanding of the code once you get into it. Now, if you would take just a moment really quick and like this video and subscribe to the channel, that would help me out a ton. Okay, with that being said, let's jump into today's content. All right, so today's challenge is we want to write a custom email to all of our customers based on some data that we provide. We're going to only use Google Sheets and then a couple of other free tools. So you'll have to sign up for a couple of accounts if you don't have those already. But other than that, you're not going to have to pay any money, and this all can go really fast. So we'll start here in Google Sheets. And I've just created an empty spreadsheet. So go ahead and do that. And I'm going to call this, we'll call this fake customer data. And that's all that you need to do. You can call it whatever you want, really. And we'll now go into ChatGPT, and we're going to ask ChatGPT to generate some custom data. This is actually a really powerful trick that you can use. You don't want to be building all of your automations with real customer data in case you leak it. Okay, so as you're getting into automations, keep that in mind. This is kind of a basic security thing, is you want to use fake data, but it needs to be based on the kinds of data that you have for real. So I'm going to show you how to do that really quick. So we'll go into ChatGPT, and we're going to ask it to generate some fake data for us. So let's just start here. We'll say, generate a CSV with 10 rows of dummy data and use United States phone numbers. Okay, now that's not enough because we need to tell it what the columns are, or it's just going to guess for us. So we'll say here are the columns. All right, we're going to give it, I want first name, last name. You notice how I'm doing this thing called snake case. This is a good practice if you're dealing with a lot of Python code and stuff, automations. Don't put spaces in a lot of these things, or it can cause problems later. So we'll do last name, phone number, email address, next appointment date, and then we'll do next appointment time. All right, and then let ChatGPT go to work. So it's going to write some code. Mine shows this because I have always show details set here. And it's writing the Python code that is necessary to generate this. And it's using this faker library. So it's showing you exactly how you do this. You could actually save this script out if you wanted to do this without ChatGPT. But there we go. Now I've got a dummy data CSV here. Let's go ahead and save that. So that will download for you. Okay, so here we are. This popped open in Excel for me, and I'm just going to take this. There's several ways you could do it, but this is just an easy way. Just copy it, go up to Google Sheets, paste it in. Okay, that is it. And then we will now go to our next step. So we're going to put an automation together in an automation platform that reaches into Google Sheets. It's going to pull the data out one row at a time. It's going to feed it into an API call, which if you're not familiar with API calls, that's just a way to talk directly to a computer system without having to go through like a chatbot interface or something like that. So we will use a automation tool called Make. Okay, so you'll need to go to make.com and sign up. It's free to sign up. You don't need a credit card. And you can get quite a few free automations before they make you pay anything. Definitely enough to run through this this video a couple of times. Okay, once you're in, you're going to go to create a new scenario. And we're going to start with Google Sheets because we've already done that. And then we're going to say, I want to search rows. Now, just to note here that watch new rows, if you are doing like an ongoing thing that's like, hey, every time a new customer is added, send them a welcome email, you could do watch new rows here. But for this one, I'm just going to run it. I'm just going to do this run once here. So I'm going to say search rows. Okay, and then you're going to have to click add, and you're going to have to make it sign in with Google here. So I've already done this, but that's what you're going to need to do. And then you're going to select from My Drive, and then you want this spreadsheet ID. So I'm going to come over here, and actually let me just show you what they say here. So the spreadsheet ID is you can type it here, or you could paste it directly in, but ours is called fake customer data. So I'm going to do that. It's going to look for it. Okay, it found it. Sheet name, we only have the first sheet. Table contains headers. Yes. Column range, we're just going to let it do the whole range. We don't really care that much. And we're actually not going to filter anything. We're not going to order by, so we just want the straight up data that's in there. And that's all we have to do right now. So we'll say okay. All right, so now it's ready to go as our first module. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to reach out to an API for an AI service. Now, if you are familiar with using ChatGPT like we just did, they have a wonderful API interface. I love it, and it's supported here in Make, but it costs money. It's not expensive, but you'd have to go in, you'd have to set up your credit card, you have to do quite a bit of work to get it going. So I'm not going to use that in this video. I'm going to use one that's also super interesting called Grok. And this is here in Grok with a Q. So this is not the same as the X.com sponsored Grok. This is a different Grok. And you're just going to have to create an account with this. I've got a blog post that you can watch that's down in the description. There's a link to it. And you can go into that blog post and read through exactly how to set this up. And it's not very hard. Once you get set up, you're going to come in here to Grok Cloud, and you're going to go create an API key, and you're going to create a display name, and then it's going to pop up with an API key, and you're going to put that API key into Make, and that'll create a connection between these two pieces of software. So the very first thing you do is you come in here to add another module, and then there's so many modules here you can use. There's a lot of them. Grok is right here. If you're wanting to, though, you can just obviously search for it. And then we've got a couple options. We can analyze images. We can do all kinds of cool stuff. But in this one, we're going to do a chat completion because all we really care about is generating some chat data. So you'll go to Grok. You're going to add a connection. Okay, so I've pasted that in here. You can call this connection whatever you want. If you want to keep things more professional, I would call it like Grok connection or something like that. All right, and that's going to add for you. You don't want to save that. And then you're going to choose a model. There are a ton of models here in Grok, which is really cool, and they're open source. So you've got your llamas, you've got Mixtral. These are wonderful models. Let's go ahead and use Llama 3.2. And we could actually let's do a Llama 3.1 versatile. Okay, because we're going to ask it to do some interesting things here. And then we want to send it some messages. Okay, so when you're interacting with large language models like this, typically what you want to do is you want to have a system message first. And that system message, I'll explain all this here on the side in a moment. The system message tells the large language model how to behave, how it should think of itself. So usually, classically, these start with you are a helpful assistant who, and then this is what it does. So we're going to say who writes reminder emails to customers of and let's say that we'll just say of a business about upcoming appointments. Okay, and then we'll say, so that's the system. Now, this is not enough because you also need to write in what's called a user. Okay, this text right here, the user, is what you would typically type into ChatGPT down here in the message box. So you're going to go, okay, so we're going to write a prompt here that says, write a summary email to the following customer. I shouldn't say summary, right? And a friendly email to the following customer, reminding them about their upcoming appointment. Okay, and then we'll say keep it light and funny, and then we'll say include a joke. Okay, and then we'll say, now the key here is we haven't told it any of the data. Now this is the part that actually gets really powerful. So we're going to do this for every single one of these guys. And I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a minute. Now, the first piece is we're going to say first name. And this is as easy as this. You can just copy this data over. Last name. Oops. Okay, and then we're going to say, the next thing that we're going to say is next appointment date. And we'll put the date here and the time. So now we're dragging actual data in. Okay. And we're not going to do anything with the advanced settings here. There is some stuff you can do there, but for this we don't need it. We're going to say okay. And then we need to add another module here. Let me see if I run this, what's going to happen is I think it'll just run it once. Let's see what happens. Well, I guess it does it for all of them. So what it's going to do is it's going to go through each of those 10 rows. It should stop after 10. Okay, it finished. That's great. And it's going to, let's look at this output here. So it did 10 operations here. And look what it did. So here's the output. The output is found in this choices array, the first item, and then a message, and then content. Okay, and look at that. So if you look up at Fight Customer Data, we have Emily. Oops. And in here, we have Dear Emily. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Just wanted to send you a friendly reminder about your upcoming appointment at our office. Mark your calendars for December 3rd, 4:04:36. Yep, we're precise about those seconds. Okay, that's actually kind of funny. You wouldn't want that in a real email. And so you could update that prompt to say, don't do it to the second or something like that. But this is good. It added the joke. Why did the calendar go to therapy? Because I had a lot of dates to work through. Okay, that's good. And then it says warm regards, your name. Okay, and it did it for each one of these 10. So that's cool, but how do you get the data out, right? So we need to pull that data out for it to be useful to us. So I'll show you how to do that here as well. Now let's fix a couple things. Let's update this prompt so we don't get this weird, yep, we're precise about the seconds. And let's make warm regards, Sam. Okay, so we'll fix those two things and then we'll run this and pull it back out to Google Sheets. Keep it light and funny, include a joke. The email is sent from Sam. And then we'll say one last thing. show only time to the minute, ignore seconds. Okay, and let's see if that takes care of that. So we'll say okay, and then we're going to add another module. So we've got Google Sheets here, we've got Grok here. So we're doing all the work. All of the AI work is already being done, but now we've got to get this back into fake customer data. So if you look here, we have next appointment time. Let's go ahead and add another one called email to customer. All right. And now we're going to try to fill this up with the email to customer so that we can pull this out into a mail merge program or something like that and send it, or we could build that email directly into this make integration. That'd be an option too. So add another module. We're going to go back to Google Sheets and we're going to update a row. All right, you've already got your connection. Search method, let's enter search by path. Let's see, drive, and we want our spreadsheet ID, and we just did this one called fake customer data. So we're going to go back into fake customer data. It's going to load it up. We're going to do sheet 1, and then the row number. Here's the cool thing. We're going to do the row number. So I think we can use this row number right here. See if that will work as it came through here. We'll try that out. And then we're going to say table contains headers, yes. And then we're going to not do any of these guys. We don't want to update any of those, but the email to the customer is what we want. So we're going to go now into the Grok result. And we're going to go into choices. Remember, that's an array. So this will be, one of each of these. So array is a list, by the way. Then you're going to go into content, and you see this content right here. So we're going to drop this in email to customer. We're going to click OK. And now we're going to run once. Okay, and watch this. It's starting to populate. This is so cool. All right, and it did it. So it made 10 API calls to Grok. And look at this. It's got Emily, Sabrina, Walter. It's got a subject for us. And then it says, look, it got the time right. It ignored the seconds. And then it gives them a joke. It was actually a different joke than we had last time. All right. And it looks great. It says, best regards, Sam. You can see some of these. It did Kayla Forbes instead of just Kayla. So you could update the prompt again. And the idea here is that you do this until you read through, these 10, and you're like, okay, I feel good about all these 10. Okay, you can also give it a template. That would probably be more common, that you give it a template of exactly what you want, and then it gives it out for you. But now you've got a fully working list, and you're ready to go. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. Wanted to let you know about a really quick free resource that I have here called the AI Implementation Handbook. It's a 3-step process that takes you through any business, any organization, and allows you to figure out exactly where are the easiest places to add AI automations to that business process. It's totally free, and the link is in the description below this video.